Hello, in this video I'm going to go over some healer stuff. Uh, I've done a few healer videos in the past regarding how to build a healer and a couple of trials builds for the healers. I'm going to kind of touch on these subclassing skill lines and which ones to pick. These three right here are my favorite. I believe they are the strongest and they work the best together. There are some other pretty good ones, but these three I think are the most powerful and the ones you should try out first, because the amount of healing that you can get with this is really, really strong. It's really going to help you heal in vet trial situations. Really going to help you easily keep your team up and keep them from dying. The amount of increased healing done that you can get with these three combinations here is really impressive. I will go over some of the other skill lines as well that you can look at and choose from, but these, in my opinion, are much stronger. So let's go over this a little bit here. Green balance from the Warden should be in group at least on one of your healers every trial that you're in, so that you can proc the Maturation passive here to give everybody minor toughness. That is really helpful in groups to get everybody's health up 10%. The only skill that I pretty much use on this is the budding seeds, because it is so strong. It is a massive skill for healing. It's got a 6-second duration and an 8-meter radius. I mean, I'll drop it on the ground here. It's pretty big, as you can see that blue ring there. It's a very strong heal. It's got a synergy tied to it. It's got a heal over time, and it's also got a burst heal. So, I mean, there's absolutely, and it's cheap. It only costs me 1,400 Magicka, and once again, I will go over this. I'm using Magicka reduction jewelry. This is what you want to do on your healers. Use Arcane with Magicka reduction jewelry. Trust me, it is a game changer. You will never run out of resources when you get your skills to cost this little. For example, look at how cheap Combat Prayer is. 3,185. That's pretty cheap. Radiating Regeneration, 1,673. That's pretty low. So if you can reduce the amount of these spells, that's going to be much better than using health recovery, mag recovery, because that ticks every 2 seconds. And if you're casting once every second, then you're going to get a lot better performance out of mag reduction cost. Use those instead. Those are much better. But let's get back into the skill lines here. Budding seeds, as I said, is pretty much the only one that I use. If I want to give people minor recoveries, Xena's is the easier and better way to do that. This also has the minor recoveries with a burst heal, but I've got plenty of other healing skills here that I don't really need the burst heal on that. I need the recoveries and the minor courage from Xena's, and I know they nerfed it to where it only hits 6 people, but it's still a really, really good skill. Again, you can get major mending if your health bars dip below 40%. I mean, if it happens, it's awesome to get that buff. It's really helpful to get people back up to full. And I get some recoveries here. If they get healed by my green balance ability, then also this increases my healing to the green budding seeds, the green balance abilities, by 5%. And then there's the minor toughness for everybody. All you have to do is activate a heal. It doesn't even have to be a green balance heal, and that'll work. Living Death from the Necromancer. The Necromancer res. is really helpful if you slot it and use it. Then these bottom 3 skills are really, really good. This is a cleanse, and then this is a burst heal that is kind of similar to Healthy Offering or the Templar heal, Breath of Life. This is similar to that. It only will hit you or an ally, but you don't pick who it hits. So I don't really like these type of skills. I stick with Combat Prayer if I need a burst heal. This one right here is just go with this. It hits in a cone. It hits multiple people, and it gives everybody minor resolve and minor berserk. You can't lose out on that. But here we go with Enduring and Undeath. I put this on my back bar, and this will consume corpses. I'll get to that in a minute. But if you consume 5 corpses, this thing can turn into a 30-second heal over time. It's extremely powerful if you can pop it in the right instance. It's very similar to the Templar skill, the ground heal. Blanking on the name of it right now. But it is a very strong heal, even if you just hit the burst heal on it. And then if you, like I said, if you consume corpses, it turns into a 30-second heal, and it's very similar to Extended Ritual is what I was trying to say. So it consumes corpses. This creates a corpse, and it heals. This is kind of a smart heal. This will heal your lowest ally. It will target them and restore 5,000 health every 2 seconds to 2 allies that are injured. It doesn't last that long, but it's not that expensive either, and it will create a corpse for you to consume on this. Or you can proc Braided Tether. This is what I have on my front bar. This gives me 3% healing done on the front bar, even if I don't even cast it. But this has got a very strong heal in itself. You have to be in combat to create a corpse, so I'll do that real quick. I'll just get into combat. I'll wait for my spirit to get halfway through, and then I'll cast this. And as you can see, the Braided Tether is healing me for quite a bit. And if your allies are standing in the tether, or if they're next to you in that blue aura right there, they are going to get healed from this. So it's a very strong skill. Like I said, even if you don't cast it, it's giving you 3% increased healing. So that's huge right there. So let's get into the Living Death passives. If you have a negative effect on you, your healing done is going to go up by 12%. This is going to happen in a trial constantly. A negative effect is virtually anything that sticks on you. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to die, but if you've got any kind of a debuff, any kind of a dot, or any kind of a status effect or anything on you, a bleed, a burning, anything, this is going to proc this. And I'll kind of cover this here when we get into the other skill lines. But this right here is going to be active a lot. Then this right here is another really, really powerful passive. When your allies dip below, let's say they get down below 40% and they proc that major mending from the Warden. Well, this is also going to help you critically strike on your heals up to 12% more. And then if I consume a corpse, I get ultimate, and then I get recoveries. So very strong passives here for the Necromancer. In my opinion, very overlooked and underrated. This is a very, very strong healing skill line. And then my last pick for the 3 is the Arcanist. Very top tier ultimate. Glyphic of the Tides is huge. It's pretty cheap to cast. It's a large radius. It heals. It gives 200 unique ultimate, and it provides major protection when you get the Glyphic all the way up to full. I use the Chakram of Destiny as a spammable because it creates a crux, and it also gives 4 people a shield every time you cast it. So it's extremely strong. And then I use Xena's on the back bar to give recoveries and minor courage. And then, while you have Crux up, which is again extremely easy, all you have to do is be in combat, cast the Crux Builder skill on your bar 3 times, and those Crux last for 30 seconds. And you will get another 12% healing because there's 3 Crux times 4%. So the negative effect from the Necromancer plus this, that's 24% increased healing. Very simply together. Then when you generate a Crux, you get recoveries. And this is an awesome true passive here. You get 18% recoveries. Doesn't matter if you slot a skill or not, you just get it. Same with this, if you generate a skill. This one, you obviously have to have a skill slotted to create a Crux, but, and it's, I guess, this one as well, but this is a true passive here. And then this one, you have to slot a skill on either bar to get increased shields. This will make this shield, the Chakram of Destiny, bigger. It will increase the size of your barrier and any other shields that you provide to your group. So that's my pick for the strong 3 there. If I was going to pick another one to go with, definitely would be the Templar Restoring Light. The skill line here is really strong with the extended ritual and the passives you get for standing in the ground. You get minor mending, which is going to increase your healing by 8%. Then you get you give people ultimate, speed up your reses if you need to, give allies more health when you do resurrect them. Healing done is increased if they're severely hurt, very similar to the Warden skill line, except for this is not a named buff, it's a unique. This is a major resolve skill that will give you Magicka back, so that can be strong as well, but the cleansing ritual is really the big thing that gets used here. I don't really use the Breath of Life too much in trials because, as I said before, this burst heal really takes care of it most of the time, and it hits more than just one person. So these two are very situational skills. They're not terrible, but very situational. The minor recoveries I feel is better used from Zenith to get the minor courage, and then this skill is just flat out too expensive to use. It's 3,700 versus 3,100. I mean, it's very expensive, and it only heals in a burst heal, whereas like something like Enduring Undeath will turn into a heal over time also, and it's cheaper. It does heal less for the burst heal, but it's got a lot more utility in my opinion. So it doesn't make the top 3 for me. Nightblade, I'll get to them in a little bit. Daedric Summoning for healing. Kind of really tough to pull stuff out of here. There's no really good heals to use for trials. The Twilight is really expensive to pop, and it only hits a couple of people. You get some Magicka recovery when the spells end if they're Daedric Summoning spells. You get a reduced ultimate cost, which is nice, but there's really not much here other than that reduced ultimate, plus you get the Atro. You do get some increased mag here, and I think that's changing actually going forward in the next patch. Dark Magic, I think, is really the healing skill line for the Sorcerer based on what the ultimate does. It's got a healing morph to this, and then you have the encase that also heals and debuffs the enemy. It's Sorcerer is just really messed up right now. They need to do a lot in order to help it out. They need to straighten it up and have this be the healing skill line, this be the tanking, and then this be the DPS. That's, in my opinion, one of the reasons why Sorcerer is hurting so much right now is because their skill lines are such a mess. They're jumbled, almost having all three roles in one. And if you're going into PvE trials, you're just not going to pick a Sorcerer line unless your character is a natural Sorcerer. Dragonknight, the Earthen Heart skill line is what you want to go with for a healer. There's access to Magma Shell, which is really strong. You have the Stone Giant for a debuff. Ingenious Weapons, not really as useful anymore because most Arcanists run Inspired Scholarship, which gives them the Brutality and Sorcery buff already. So this is not as useful anymore. If you don't have somebody using an Arcanist skill line, the Herald of the Tome, then this could become somewhat situational, but I think for the most part, not really. Obsidian Shield, you want to use not the Ingenious Shield, that's the tank shield. The other one gives you major mending for 8 seconds, which is extremely powerful. Petrified, honestly, I believe this should be moved to the tank skill line because it's more of a stun and an immobilization. And then Ash Cloud has a good heal on it for AoE. You do get increased duration for Earthen Heart abilities, resource regeneration when you use your ultimate, and giving minor brutality for your group is incredibly strong, as well as getting stamina back when you cast ultimate. So this is mainly a tank skill, but I think if they moved the Petrify up to Draconic Power, and then looked at maybe moving, I don't know, maybe moving something like Protective Plate and making it hit all your team or something like that, then that would kind of make Draconic Power a little stronger. Draconic Power is in a little bit of trouble, and I think Earthen Heart just beats him out on healers and tanks altogether. But let's get into the last one here, Siphoning from the Nightblade. Honestly, everybody picks this skill line for this passive right here. And in my opinion, it's really not strong enough to negate the 3 that I'm using. I get so much more healing done with the other 3. Everybody likes to talk about the ultimate giving everybody major vitality, which is 12% increased healing. You're only going to get that for, I believe it's 10 seconds, if that. My healing done is increased by 24% easily, and it's always up. This right here, 30 ultimate every 45 seconds when you drink a potion. If you're using potion cooldown glyphs to make this proc more often, then you're going to suffer a little bit more. With skills costing more because you're trying to dip into a potion chugging game. And then you get max resources and increased healing done with a siphoning ability, and you get an ultimate for when you cast. So they do have some good things about this skill line. This skill morphs into a skill that kind of mimics what Radiating Regeneration does in a way. And then this is another burst heal that hits you or an ally in front of you. It's not as good to use, in my opinion, as Combat Prayer. The main reason people use this and slot it is to get minor mending, because the healthy offering gives minor mending. This right here probably should be in the tank skill line or the DPS skill line. It's a debuff or a sticky dot that you put on. And then Siphoning Strikes gives you resources back when you just passively, or it heals you passively, which really, if you build your healer right, this is not needed or useful. It's kind of overkill. And then Drain Power is your source of major brutality and sorcery, and it also can heal your group if you use the Sap Essence morph. If you use Power Extraction, it becomes a stamina ability and it damages enemies instead. So, I mean, overall, this is not as strong of a healing skill line in my opinion. As I've said before in other videos, I build with mag reduction glyphs, all Divine's gear, arcane jewelry, and I have the ritual for a Mundus. So as you can see right there, my mag recovery just standing here is at 2300. It's very, very, very strong. I'll pop a potion here to get that, and then I'll stand in Xena's, which is the minor recoveries. And now you can see it's damn near 3,000 recoveries without even using any mag regeneration glyphs or the Atronach Mundus. I mean, it's just not needed to build for recoveries or sacrifice your ability to lower your costs with potion cooldowns and all that. But that's going to be my video for healing stuff. Thank you for watching. Give these combinations a try. I'll go over my bar real quick so you can see my skills. I have Budding Seeds on the front bar. I kind of took a place of Illustrious Healing here because I felt like this is stronger than that, and it does a similar thing. It's a heal over time and a ring. This right here is to proc the 3% increased healing as well as consume a corpse. This creates Crux and gives me 12% more healing done, and it gives shields to everybody. The Burst Heal that gives minor Resolve and minor Berserk. This is a Sticky Hot right here. Barriers on the front to increase mag recovery. Then we got Overflowing Altar. This should be in your trials on at least one of the healers. If your other healer's running this is a flex spot. You could run the Undaunted Orb or maybe one of your other in-class skills that, you know, could fill this spot, whatever you want. Then I have Enduring Undeath to consume corpses and become a back bar burst heal, as well as a heal over time if you consume corpses. Again, if you consume 5 of these corpses, it becomes a 30-second heal over time. It's really strong. Here's a 20-second, actually 30 seconds, because people walk out of this and it lasts for 10 seconds longer. All 3 minor recoveries and minor courage. Then I have a weakening glyph on my back bar to help the tanks out and proc minor breach, as well as give everybody a shield when I proc this, as you can see right there. This also gives you increased block mitigation to have an ice staff on. Make sure you use an ice staff, not a shock staff or any other staff. Use an ice staff. And then I have Intensive Mender and the Glyphic of the Tides. So set this up the way, and by the way, I am always a Breton healer. That is the best, by far, race to use. You get much better passives with a Breton than you do with any other race. You get increased max Magicka, mag recovery, and spell resistance, and then you also get a reduction in Magicka spell cost. So, really important. Pick this if you're having trouble, or if you're just starting out. Always go with a Breton. You're not going to have trouble if you do. The spells, like I've said before, you can just cast them at will when you set up like this. You just don't run out of resources. I can sit here and cast combat prayer after combat prayer after combat prayer, and I don't run out of mag. You can watch it right there. I'm just spamming combat prayer, and it just is very difficult to run out of Magicka. So Go with that setup. It's going to make it easy mode. You're going to have a lot funner time in trials. When your team is not dying and you're keeping them alive, it's just going to go a lot easier. Try it out. Thanks for watching. Check out my channel for my other playlists. I have organized playlists on my channel for different subjects and information on the game. Crafting, PvP builds, tank builds, DPS builds, all kinds of stuff. Farming, gear sets, all kinds of stuff. I even have a video on how to travel for free using home tours. Give that a look if you're interested. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in another video. Bye.